Hey guys, D1sco here, and today I'm reacting to the Dead by Daylight Year 9 Anniversary Livestream Part 2. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say I am aware that Orange has already released this video. He released it a while ago. I have not seen Orange's reaction to this yet because I'm trying to keep my reaction pure. The only thing I do know, Orange was talking to me once and he mentioned some of the skins that were coming for like one character, and that was about it. So I'm going in pretty much still blind. I'm a little worried about this just because it's an hour and 14 minutes. I don't know how, I don't really know what all will be discussed. I don't know how much of this stuff will be interesting to me personally. I like the room that they have set up here, but let's start.
Hey!
We're here.
We're back!
We're back. We're
back.
here. We're live in Montreal. We're live in our studio, in our brand new studio. In the studio.
New studio. Who this,
Who
right?
dat?
I just think it's cool.
That is a palette. That is also a coffee table.
I just want to say, I think it's really cool that, I didn't even realize they got a new studio, or, I don't know the specifics of, what goes on with behavior and whatnot behind the scenes, but I really think it's cool that they do have, there's past videos and whatnot that exist on YouTube where they have, real-life versions of, lockers and stuff from the game, but it's really cool seeing this room, and seeing, posters and stuff on the walls, celebrating, different Dead by Daylight milestones. Over here, as you guys can see, there's that gen that has those lights on attached to it. There's the locker behind them. The coffee table, as they mentioned, looks like a pallet. So I just think that's really cool.
Table.
It's got coasters.
You know, you recognize
posters.
this, but also not a picture frame. That is actually a video screen. We're not going to make use of it today because we
they're
literally
video
just got it
screens.
installed. Streams in the future. We're going to be having a lot of fun with a lot of these. They look like static picture frames, but really excited for us to have this as a resource here in our own studio in Montreal, so we can do more stuff here, including videos that you do all the time, interviews, whatever. So yes, hello, welcome. There are a lot of you out there. Thank you for joining us. This is actually our second live stream of the month of May. Earlier, we were at PAX East in Boston, where also a bunch of people showed up in person, which was an incredible delight to meet so many people I only knew as online names, and to ham it up in front of a live audience was pretty fun. So we just wanted to say thank you for that.
As soon as he said that, my mind immediately went to the lady that was losing her mind to the Witcher skins they revealed in that live stream, and the lady who lost it when they said, what was it, Matthew, I think is his name? The guy in charge, the guy at Behavior in charge of the licenses. He had, he was in the process of basically saying that they were trying something new with the PTB, and that if people didn't like it, they would change it. But before he could even finish the statement, you immediately hear some lady just scream. And I was talking to Orange once, and I talked about how I've referenced it in a number of videos. I'm not going to do it here because I need to get this moving. But the point is it was definitely interesting, seeing some of the developers in front of a live audience. Dead by Daylight fans are all over the place, right? You got the toxic ones. You got you know what I mean? It's such a wide, thing, wide variety. I've had matches where I remember there was a 2v8 match, that I had recently where, Orange had to do something, so he, unfortunately ended up being AFK the whole match because he was unaware that would be happening. And despite all the survivors getting a free win, two of them were really nice in the endgame chat. One was even nice enough to, just die herself. She literally, died to endgame collapse, timer running out. Because I think that, Felita felt bad that I was by myself or something. But I still got teabagged in that match. there was a Renato that had left, and he teabagged me, and I was so upset because I was like, you literally got a free win, and you're still teabagging. It's just there's so much like toxicity like that and whatnot, that it's really just annoying. And I try not to teabag or do anything like that when I play Survivor, because I just don't care enough. I'm not that kind of person. And also, it's so annoying when you're the killer and you're getting teabagged, and it's like, okay, like, great, now I don't want to play the game anymore. Or at least that's how I feel, and I think Orange feels so way to an extent, though he usually keeps playing. But yeah, it was just really cool seeing them in front of a live audience. And kind of how and it kind of went somewhat about as I imagined. You had cosplayers, though we didn't see all of them. Orange's reaction to the first live stream is actually how I learned that there was some guy just constantly throwing his phone up with like a picture of Bendy from the Bendy and the Ink Machine game on it, like, to the developers, and just hearing everybody screaming and yelling and saying random things was interesting. And yeah, just, it's a weird community. But it was definitely interesting.
It was our first big live event in a long time, and y'all showed up, so hopefully that means we can do more. And the only negative of that event, we were not joined by Dork.
Yes.
Due to visa issues.
Yeah, it was really sad to be watching from the sidelines, but the hype in that room was electric. So, like, even being at home, but just rooting you guys, that was just amazing. So I truly hope that maybe in the future I'll be able to meet you guys in person. But for now, let's get into today's live stream, which we're talking about part 2 of our anniversary live stream with the Dead by Daylight Five Nights at Freddy's official live stream. And today, especially at PAX, you guys got a little taste about what was coming with this chapter, but now we're going to be talking about the map, the new gameplay, and the anniversary event, which is right around the corner.
We just gave them an app, and now they're getting the full pizza.
Yeah, the new full pizza.
So if you are new to Dead by Daylight, which I suspect some of you are, there are a lot of people here. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Hello, camera 2. If you're new to Dead by Daylight, I just want to quickly explain what's going on today. We're doing our stream, obviously, and generally we try to do these when we have either a release of the full chapter or, as is the case today, a PTB. If you don't know what PTB is, a public test battle, flipping knows. What it is a test tool for us on the development team. Truly, it's a chance for us to get the build out.
This. I'm really happy they do PTBs. A lot of companies, like a lot of games nowadays, don't do anything like that. You kind of have to just make the issues known, let the developers know, and just kind of pray that they fix it. I really like how behavior, and I know a lot of people get all pissy about behavior and whatnot, and those people just don't understand game development. Orange, for instance, he has made a number of games. He is someone who I definitely trust the opinion of when it comes to game development, because sure, he hasn't made anything as crazy as pretty much any game nowadays, but he has made games on a smaller scale, and he is and I know he's continuously like working on some of those games somewhat, and even he's mentioned that, like, yeah, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. There's things that, as a fan of games or whatever, you're like, oh, X thing should be easy to implement, but in reality, it's like really complicated to add X thing because of how like coding works and just a number of other variables. And this is all stuff that people never think of. And I think a lot of Dead by Daylight players are unfortunately in that category of not fully understanding, because there's a number of fans who will just be like, oh, well, they should fix, these killers, or oh, they shouldn't even bother with these, like, where they're like, they get all pissy that certain changes haven't happened yet, or that they're quote unquote ignoring the problem. And I try to throw them a bone, because I don't think that's what's happening at all. Again, game development is way more complicated than anyone playing the game really realizes. Unless if you've done game development, you don't really know. It's one of those kind of things. So, I try to throw them a bone, but I really like that they do PTBs because it gives them a chance to because it lets them have fans test their idea, right, for the character or was mid chapter PTBs, their ideas for upcoming fixes to make sure everything is like smooth, smooth, and make sure that those killers, those survivors, those perks, whatever, are working as intended and whatnot, and having good changes that don't that they're not too weak or they're not too overpowered. So I really appreciate that they do that because very few video game companies do that
Early,
nowadays.
find some rough edges, anything that might not be working, and get it up to gear, up to snuff for the full release, which is coming on June 17th. So I just wanted to set the stage for you in case you didn't know what PTB is, because we'll mention it a few times. But that is planned to go live as soon as we wrap up the show here today, if we time it perfectly. So stay tuned. All right, so Five Nights at Freddy's is our most requested chapter of all time. You have wanted this for a long time. FNAF fans have wanted it for a long time. DVD fans have wanted it for a long time. I have wanted it for a long time. Now it's actually happening. So let's not delay any longer. We'll show you what's coming in the show today with the run of show.
What do you want to be?
So we're going to kick things off with a segment that you've been waiting for, Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay.
Okay, I just wanted to see everything. So I'm going to pause them real quick just because I don't want them talking and all of a sudden it goes away and I'm still trying to raise it. So, we got run of the show here. So this is what I'm assuming is everything that will be talked about. I don't know how much of it. I'm assuming Orange reacted to pretty much all of this, if not most of it. Though I'm unaware if I'm seeing the video. I know this video is a little bit shorter than the actual live stream, though, which is kind of crazy to think about. But, okay, so first thing, playing at Springtrap. I have done that in the PTB. Me and Orange both kind of had the same idea if we wanted to actually play him and experience him and see everything in the PTB related to him before we reacted to this, just because we wanted to go in as blind as possible. I did react to like the wording and stuff, but I feel like that's still a good idea for me because I don't understand what the hell any of those words mean. And then it says the final Twisted Masquerade. I will have some things to say. I have something that I want to say about that when it comes to it, because Orange told me that I guess the final one is this year, and I guess they have plans to do something different for, I'm assuming, the next few anniversaries. So I'll share I have some thoughts from when Orange shared it to me that I'll share when we get to that. Upcoming collections, the only thing I can think of in terms of that will be in that category is probably the Springtrap outfits and the Witcher outfits, because we know that there's some Springtrap outfits coming. They gave us a quick little preview of one skin in-game for Springtrap in the last live stream, and then they all talked about the Witcher and a couple of other outfits. Creator program, which I think is their, what was it, Fog Whisperers. I think it's like a title for those people. It'll be interesting to hear more about that. For anyone wondering, neither of us are a part of that. Though I doubt we ever will be, at least for a long time. We're just too small, and it's okay though. We don't really mind. We're still gonna play the game. We're still gonna make our videos, do the best that we can with everything that we have. And finally, there's a live Q&A, which will be interesting to see as well.
Playing as Springtrap. And helping us out, we're going to have Jason Guzzo back with us to talk about Springtrap's gameplay, but also the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza map.
Yes, and then next I'll be joined on the couch with Justin Banks, who's going to break down this year's anniversary event and show us everything's going to be happening for this last Twisted Masquerade. Then we'll have a new face on the couch, which is going to be Hollis from the product team, who's going to be running through the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog here in a couple of months. And then after that, Eric and I will be back on the couch to talk about the Dead by Daylight Creator Program, which I know a lot of our content creators out there are at the edge of their seats waiting to hear news about, so stay tuned.
And we also have another thing going
want
to
to,
share
or
with you that
actually
is
gonna be
new.
a part of that.
Maybe
probably,
you saw it in your news yesterday in the game. Little spoiler. We're going to be talking about the extremely cool new Dead by Daylight stats tracker that's coming up. We're going to be able to look at your in-game stats and progress as you play, which is really neat.
I remember
Yes,
seeing
I
something
cannot
about
wait to
that,
see
but
how
I
many
didn't
times
really
I've
understand.
died.
All the
After
fucking
that,
time.
well,
All the fucking time. I die more than I fucking win. That is part of why I don't play the game as much as I used to. I personally I'm someone who personally doesn't like that they have it intentionally killer sided. That's a real thing they've actually mentioned. They wanted the killers to kill more than survivors survive kind of thing in terms of gameplay. In terms of lore, I mean, who cares? It probably doesn't fit the lore at all, but maybe not. I don't know. The lore is kind of a minor thing, though it is interesting, and I am always excited to learn more about the lore. But yeah, big reason why I kind of stopped playing is because, or at least not as much. I'll play. I'm always down to play with Orange if he wants to play, and when I do play, I usually do have a good time. There are obviously those anger-inducing trials, but still. But a big reason why I stopped playing is when the 40 perk rework happened, which I guess was actually 39 perks apparently, and not actually 40. They just kept calling it 40. So that's fun. But during that update, they gave killers buffs to breaking stuff like in chase, so walls and pallets in chase. Ever since then, I have really been. I felt like I've been angrier ever since then. And angrier in the sense of like that I'm not able that like because I felt like I was getting worse at the game, but I don't think that's the case. I've had a few years since then, to like basically barely play, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's that I've gotten worse. It's that part of it is that killer players have so many advantages as behavior wanted, like always wanted. They have all these advantages over me that really keep me from from surviving or even getting a chance. And me and Orange had a match recently. We decided to play a 1v4 match instead of a 2v8 match, when 2v8 was still going, because we wanted to quickly try to do a challenge, and that resulted in us getting a Kaneki who got a 4K, or got a 3K, but let the fourth person go. Otherwise, he easily would have gotten a 4K. And unfortunately, I was upset because I basically got screwed immediately because for whatever reason, and I know this isn't intentional, I get that, but it happens so much, I have to start wondering it's not a coincidence. For whatever reason, when I play the game, the killer almost always kills me first and I die immediately, and I'm always bottom of the leaderboard, and it's very frustrating because I never get a chance to escape usually. So I'm really hoping that, because they mentioned in the last live stream that they were going to be, that they are aware that they've been giving killers a lot of buffs, a lot of tools, a lot of things to get that survivors don't have. And they mentioned that they were going to start giving survivors some things to kind of, I guess, accommodate them. And I really hope some of that will be talked about in here, because I really want to actually feel like I'm getting better at the game again. I want to actually have fun with the game again, instead of just getting 4K'd, instead of dealing with 4Ks or 3Ks every time I play Survivor, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to play now because I'm just going to die immediately, so what's the freaking point, you know what I mean? So I would say that's one of my biggest wants for this live stream in terms of just raw game, is I really want them to mention something about what they're giving survivors, so that way, because I'm really I'm tired of always dealing with 4Ks or 3Ks. Like I want the game to be fun again, if that makes. I want the game, in my experience, to be fun again, and it was until killers kind of got out kind of their progress, right? The stuff they were getting from behavior to like make their gameplay better, kind of outpaced Survivor a little bit. Sorry if I'm rambling. It's just I'm very passionate about this. I am a diehard who is someone who says that the game is killer side. I had there was a comment years ago which I'm still not frustrated, confused about, where it was just a really weird worded thing. They mentioned they like part of their comment didn't make sense to me. And they were trying to argue, and they were like arguing. It was like a weird thing where they were arguing that killers don't actually have all the advantages, when they do, it was a whole thing. But let's get back to this before
Obviously,
I keep
it's
talking.
wouldn't be a Dead by Daylight live stream without having some Twitch drops. And we're gonna have 3 amazing Twitch drops for players to.
I really want to see when they say these Twitch drops will be happening. There were Twitch drops going. I actually have them, but none of them were these things. The Twitch drops I have that I claimed were, I think, Twitch drops that happened like shortly after the first live stream or something like that. And they weren't related to the anniversary at all, whereas these ones clearly are, but they're still like these look great. I really like this cake batch, but they all look great.
Go ahead and redeem on Twitch. So make sure you're looking at the Twitch chat or looking at the QR code to go ahead and make sure you're linking your behavior account so that you're not missing it. It starts today. Up until June 10th.
June
but
10th.
Maybe, Eric, you want to tell us what we're going to get?
I do, although I don't know that it matches what's in the image. So we have 3 drops for you, but actually the first drop is a combo. You're going to get blood points as well as a smiling clown badge. Sorry, I don't. What I have written down versus what's in that image are not the same thing. So we're going to learn together. Smiling clown badge.
I was confused too because that image, I think it's old. I want to say that's an old image. I think that might have been from the last. I swear that's an old image. That firecracker badge, I'm like 99% sure, at least thinking about it off the top of my head right now. I think I have that already. But yeah, I think. But yeah, I think that. But yeah, I was about to say, I have the drops currently going. It sounds like the drops I got are the drops that they were referring to. But for some reason, that was an old
bundled together for watching 1 hour, a Clown Den banner for watching 3 hours, and a pin the tail on the Maurice charm for anyone who accumulates 6 hours of watch time. Oh, Maurice, how I miss thee.
I miss him.
Right.
I have to do my little head pats at the map.
I know. I hope he returns to us soon. Before we dive in, one last thing we did want to mention.
Why does he keep leaving? I want to talk about this. Why did he leave again? The first time he was gone for, I think, almost a whole year. Like, he was gone for a number of months. And that ended up being, like, a thing for the Maurice skin that Dredge has. It's like a homage skin thing, and they brought him back. But yeah, I always... when I first started playing the game, I didn't really know anything about Maurice. I was always just like, oh, that's that's a horse. But after I've learned who Maurice is, I kind of do what she does, right? I try to give him the head pats when I can. But why is he gone again? Them saying that, like, reminded me of it, like, a number of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago now. I don't even remember. I saw a thing on a community post of theirs on YouTube some time ago, and it mentioned that, and it, like, said that he was gone again on it. Obviously, it's not, and I guess he's just isn't back yet. I'm not sure why they keep, like, using Maurice for these types of things. I think it's cool, but it's also kind of, I don't know, a little strange to me, but...
You've been around for a few weeks. We're running a charity program at the moment, which I've been so psyched about, tied to Aurella's release.
Right.
And it has already, well, it's finished, but has over $200,000.
Oh my God.
And that's
That's a lot.
before the multiplier that we're still calculating right now. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that charity. It's going
That's
to
right,
a really
they said
great
if,
cause,
like,
the
you
St.
donate
Justine
certain
Foundation
amounts
here
of
in
money,
Montreal to help
they'll
kids
multiply
and their
the
moms.
money.
So thank you, thank you. We'll announce the final number when we have it from the numbers people, but it is well over $200,000. So crazy.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Without further ado,
Okay.
let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, playing a Springtrap, and bring out our dear friend Jay Guzzo, the killer's
I always come back. I always come back. Oh my God. Oh God. I can't wait. He's so good. Five Nights at Freddy's. Is this who you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why you wanna be Five Nights at Freddy's? Some lot of great FNAF songs out there. Anyways. Hello.
Whoa! I was waiting for Jay to tell us when we're ready, but we're live! See, we told you it's live. You didn't believe us. Okay, so, hi, Jay. So from the time that we announced that Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to Dead by Daylight, obviously the excitement has been off the charts for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, for DBD fans, for myself, maybe you.
Speaking of FNAF plushies, I think Orange has a couple. He has what? I want to say he has a Freddy one too, and I think that might be it. I still need to get some. I keep needing to do that, but I keep not. I'd like to get some of the Funko Pops that they have. The only Funko Pops I'm aware of though are the Security Breach ones, but I hope that, past games have any. I don't know if any of the past games do have Funko Pops. You would think so, but I don't know. But yeah, I really want to get some plushies. I've been buying some plushies lately. I've bought a couple plushies I really wanted that some YouTubers. So none of them are Dead by Daylight YouTubers, in case if you were wondering. But they're, at least one of them's on the way, and it's actually almost here. To me, I think one of them still doesn't ship for a while, and the first one I just ordered early, shortly before I started the stream. But I really hope to someday soon order and hopefully get more like FNAF merch. Like I think there's some shirts, and I'd like to get some of those. Definitely want to get the plushies. Would like to get some of those little collectible figures. I know Orange has some of those, and the Funko Pops as well. But I'm saying that kind of just reminded me of the plushies.
And people are speculating, who's the killer going to be? Are we going to get a map, etc., etc.? We answered those things in a high-level way at PAX a few weeks ago. Indeed, we will have a killer, Springtrap. For the first time ever, you get to play as Springtrap instead of be terrorized by Springtrap.
Yep.
Well, if you're a survivor, you'll still be terrorized.
Yeah.
And also, we'll be bringing in a new map. So Jay has come here to join us. And if you have watched streams before, you would know Jay from such hits as Chucky and also Dracula. Jay is the killer designer on both of those, as well as Springtrap. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to be here.
I'm also excited for you to be here,
Oh.
Jay. So let's get into it. So as I mentioned, you worked on some pretty iconic licenses already. So
God, they're great.
when you were assigned Five Nights at Freddy's, what was it like when you first started working on that chapter?
It was really interesting. I didn't have a lot of experience with it. Excuse me, my throats are a little dry today. I was obviously aware of it. I mean, everybody is. It's become so iconic in such a short period of time.
That's
but
kind of
I'm going to be honest.
that's kind of the problem about statements like that. It's like it technically is everybody. Quick TLDR, just to kind of show someone who is not aware of it at all. I saw a video, completely unrelated to video games in general. It was a former wrestler who just wanted to react, who was watching some TikToks related to wrestling. That's all it was. And there was a clip that he found that he watched, and I remember him like really liking it and like laughing at it. They did an edit where the original is it's one wrestler turning around, there's another wrestler behind him, and he like moves his head side to side a bunch, and I think he like yells or says something. He like yells or something at the guy. I'm not super familiar with the original clip, but the big thing is he moves his head side to side as he does it. So he kind of does. Actually, I can kind of. I'll show it was a slinky. So imagine the slinky here's his head and like it goes like back and forth, kind of in this motion. So it was like like the side to side, like oh no he didn't, girl, kind of thing. That kind of head movement, like the back to forth, kind of. It's like back and forth, like side to side having so head going to shoulder, but not like fully touching the shoulders or anything like that. Just, and he kept moving his head back and forth, like while he was yelling, is what it looked like. And the clip he saw, in his like little reaction video thing to them, and when instead of like what he actually yelled or whatever, they inserted the Foxy jump scare scream from the original FNAF game, and his the guy who helps this former wrestler with his videos was behind the camera, and he was like, do you know what that screen's from? And the wrestler had no idea because he's not a video game guy. He's aware of them. He's played some. He's owned some, but that's kind of it. So he had no idea what it was, and it was kind of funny. His producer said that it was from, Five Nights at Freddy's, the game. The former wrestler has no idea what he's talking about, and then the former wrestler compares him saying that, to, like, him randomly saying, like, the top song from like I think he said 1985. That's probably just the first year that came to his head. He didn't actually say that song or anything like that, but that was his comparison. So him just making that everybody statement thing just kind of it just reminded me of that little story, and I felt like sharing it in this video for anyone who cares.
Really realize how kind of deep the lore and the story went before I started kind of looking into this chapter. So it's been cool, and like the story is way more horrifying than I ever thought it would be, to be honest.
Oh yes, despite how cute it is, very horrifying. And actually, I think that's a very initial common ground DBD fans and FNAF fans will have. Deep lore on both games, much more than you'd expect. And once you dig in, it's really cool stuff, and it goes, like you said, it goes places.
Yeah,
it does go places.
So I guess the way you mentioned it, sounds like you had to do a lot of research to get up to speed.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite things about doing licenses like this is they give me an excuse, I guess, a reason to become like a real big nerd about one specific franchise or IP.
I get it.
That's always amazing. Chucky, I got to watch all the movies, and Dracula, we played the games and watched stuff. So this one, I did the same thing. I jumped in. My main thing was YouTube and Twitch, watching streams. I watched 60 to 70 hours of content of some of the more popular streamers, I guess we can say. All through all the games, including the VR stuff and things, not just to see the games and how they played, but also the players, how they react, the community, how they react, what kind of getting the inspiration for the experience of FNAF and Five Nights at Freddy's, excuse me.
I can call it FNAF.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think that's a really special thing. You didn't just tackle it from a mechanics point of view. You wanted to understand the community. You wanted to understand
Yeah.
the players, make them feel as welcome in DBD as possible. Dead
Yeah.
by Daylight, sorry. No, we're going to be doing this a lot. It's just quicker to use acronyms.
DVD,
so
FNAF.
I think that's a great touch. So any surprises you found
Whatever
along the way as you were doing that?
Yeah, I mean, this won't be a surprise to most people, but it was to me, was, like I said, just how passionate the community is.
Oh, we are
like you said, it's very
passionate.
similar to DVD in that
We
respect
love
of, like,
this stuff.
very passionate fans and
This
very
is my
passionate
life,
community.
man.
People who kind of, they watch the trailers and they watch gameplay and they pixel
we
peek.
do.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind
Yeah,
of start
we
stringing
do.
things together.
Yeah,
and I
we
imagine there's at least
do.
a few Five Nights fans with, like, the boards with pictures and the string all over them.
Yes,
Oh, definitely.
which Jay, you're kind of famous for with Dracula. Hand drew some meme-worthy art, so maybe we'll have some more. But yeah, they're probably picking apart
Go
our
into Jay's
outfits as we
office and
speak.
it's like
What does it mean?
multiple,
What is
like,
it? I just wanted people to see my
bulletin
cool new
boards
colored
with-
shoes. That's
I
all.
just wanted people to
license
see. I
goes with
don't know if I can show it.
illustrations,
My daughter bought me Freddy Fazbear socks for Christmas.
Freddy on the
yeah.
feet. Likewise, my son gave me his Freddy plush for good luck today. So we are loving it over here. So before we jump into the
need to get
gameplay,
a Freddy plush,
why don't you tell
yeah.
us about how you started to
need to
approach
look
the
into that
design
too.
of Springtrap?
Yeah, it was a really interesting one because obviously, if you know both games, gameplay-wise, they're pretty diametrically opposed. Five Nights at Freddy's is really about sitting still. You manage resources, particularly the battery, and try not to get killed. Whereas DBD is all about moving around,
Yep.
doing the gens. If
Yep.
you sit still, you're gonna get yourself
Not a
killed.
good
It's
strategy.
not a great idea.
Not a good
So it really
strategy.
became about kind of
Also,
nailing
playing the
down
game for me, not a
what
good strat,
the
because I
quintessential
video.
Five Nights at Freddy's experience is.
it
Things like
happens.
the security
I'm trying
office,
to get better.
the battery power,
trying.
all those amazing jump scares,
Yes.
and just kind of figuring out how to adapt that into the context of DVD.
Perfect. So with that transition, let's get into Springtrap specifically and his gameplay.
Yeah. So one of the goals for Springtrap was to figure out how to lean into those jump scares, which are kind of the thing about the Five Nights at Freddy's games, right? Without making him just a straight up stealth killer, which was something we wanted to avoid. So I had this idea of doing something that we'd never really tried before, where we focus Springtrap kind of as a grab-based killer. Because we have grabs in DBD. They are inherently jump scares into themselves it's right there. So we just kind of leaned into that and gave him more of the...
I forget who it was, but I remember seeing a video years ago about someone. I think it was some YouTuber. If you guys know, I'd love to hear. But I legitimately can't remember. I don't think it was any of like the big YouTubers that I immediately think of when I think fun, like Dead by Daylight content creator. Though I know very few of them in the grand scheme of things. Like for instance, Behavior likes to do this thing where they'll show the characters, right? Like they'll show streamers and whatnot, like. And like live streams and other things sometimes, and I almost never recognize like any of them. They usually will have, a lot of times they have a star button. He'll be the only one I recognize. But what I wanted to say was this: I saw this old YouTube thing, and there was some guy, I think saying that like he played it, like he got his wife to play it for like a little bit or something like that, and he mentioned that like his wife kept getting like basically jump scared, like, and kept like freaking out as both sides, including as the killer, and it was kind of a funny little thing. But I don't, unfortunately, it's been so long, I don't really remember the specifics of it anymore. But
Those opportunities.
There he is right there on screen. by
There
the
he
way.
is, yeah.
We even have another one of him doing a little bit of a grab.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we gave him a pretty unique projectile, which is really cool. So Springtrap has two weapons. I get to finally announce. I know the community have been talking about it. So he has a large pizza knife as his main weapon, and
It's a giant
a heavy
fucking
fire
bolted
axe
knife. Yeah,
as his
it's a
power.
fire
Oh, a
axe.
fire axe. So let's talk about the axe. How do
Speaking
you
of
use?
axes, if we ever get what's his name from The Shining, he better have the axe. That better be his weapon. There better be a here's Johnny voice line if that ever happens. I would lose my shit.
Use the axe? How's it different from projectiles that other characters in
What
Dead
are
by
the other
Daylight use?
projectile killers? You got what? Artist, Plague, Huntress throwing hatchets, Trickster throwing knives. Freddy to an extent now, though his is very much more so in the realm of Plague in the sense that like it doesn't immediately mess you up, but it does eventually mess you up, kind of thing. There's too many killers. Deathslinger technically, because he shoots the harpoon. I'm forgetting some, but let's hear about Springy Boy.
Yeah, so it's a very unique. It's not going to play like any other projectile killer that you've tried before. We wanted to do something a little bit interesting with it. So if you throw the axe and it hits something in the environment, whether it's a missed shot or it's deliberate, it creates an AoE that lasts about 15 seconds. And if a survivor walks through it, you get killer instinct on them for a short period of time. If you hit a survivor with it, kind of gets lodged in their back while you're chasing.
Kind of have an axe lodged in your back. It's
A
no
little
big
bit.
deal.
So they can remove it manually, or they can do it quicker in co-op with another survivor. As Springtrap, you can also retrieve it yourself. If you get in close, you can skip kind of the steps of downing the survivor and picking them up. You get in close to a survivor that has the axe embedded in
Don't you
them.
grab 'em?
You click the button, you grab the axe
Yeah.
and the survivor at the same time.
Yeah,
You get a cool
that's what I
little
thought, yeah.
jump scare, and then you're carrying them on your shoulder.
That's right. Yeah, I remember Orange doing that in his video where he was in his PTB video. Yeah, it's like you throw the axe and you get close enough, and when you reclaim the axe, you like grab the axe and you like grab the survivor sort of at the same time, and then you like pull the survivor close, and if I remember correctly, Springtrap like roars in their face, like he makes this like roaring sound at their face before he like grabs them. It's a really cool. I really like how they introduce some jump scares into his power. It makes it more unique that way.
Couple little notes.
Oh,
One of them is while you have your projectile available, you move at 4.4 meters per second. There he is.
There's a little glimpse of some jump scare action.
But once you've thrown the axe, you actually move at 4.6 meters per second. It's something that we've never really done base kit for a killer. It makes for some really interesting tactical choices, meaning that you have to recall the axe manually. It never comes back to you automatically unless you throw it out of the map, because you can make a mistake.
unless you
But yeah, as
throw
long
it
as it's in
out
the
of
environment
map, yeah.
or in a survivor or whatever it is, you have to manually recall it.
So it lightens his load a little bit, makes him a bit faster.
Exactly.
Perfect. So that brings us to another
also
unique
increase the
part of
weight
his
of it,
gameplay,
which, according
and
to
I think
odds, is,
super iconic to Five Nights at
a
Freddy's,
dog
the
shit
security
add-on, but,
office.
you know.
So let's get into that.
Yeah. So it was really important for us to give the killer and the survivor a really kind of interesting shared experience in that space, which allowed us to also lean into the jump scares. And some of the ways we came up with was to introduce a security office, which is part of any trial that Springtrap is the killer. It's part of his power, but it acts as kind of a transitionary space. So we have 7 doors that appear randomly around the map at chest spawns, and these can be used by survivors or killers to teleport around the map.
Yeah, there be a door.
There it is. And survivors can also use them for surveillance. So as a survivor, you interact with the door.
You can also
It brings
go
up the
throw it
camera
at
view.
survivors,
You'll get the
too.
kind of iconic
That's nice.
map view in the bottom right of all the different cameras. On the bottom left, you'll see your battery power, which we'll talk about in a second. You can see what's going on in the other
What I
door.
love about that camera view, by the way, when I played the PTB, is like visually and like the sounds and whatnot. It's very similar to the original FNAF game, which I really appreciate. When I think FNAF, that's usually the one I think of first, is the original, because I just love the original one so much. I love Sister Location though. I love FNAF 4 a lot as well. I like FNAF World a lot because it's such a different take on FNAF. It's still really the only game like it, and Unlike the Steel Wool games, which I still love also for different reasons, I think FNF World doesn't deserve all the hate it got. I really do think there's a lot of good stuff with that game. And the Steel Wool games are also amazing, like Security Breach, and they have the, what was it, Secret of the Mimic, which is actually releasing soon. It's releasing June 13th, they said, which is 4 days before this chapter comes out, which is crazy to think about, that we're getting a couple finesse things, like, so close to each other.
Or as you can switch between doors. If you see something that, if it looks safe on the other end, you press the button, your character goes into the security office, and then it's kind of like a hands-off, almost like a theme park experience where you see this first-person view going through the office, which is really cool.
And one thing you mentioned, again, just in case we have new folks playing, regardless of what map you're playing on, this functionality, the security room will be there as long as Springtrap is the killer in the match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And
Which is why,
as a
for
survivor,
instance,
if you happen to see Springtrap
the things with
through a
Jigsaw
camera,
sitting on
if you
them,
train your
or
camera on him for a
whatever,
few
whatnot.
seconds, he'll be revealed for a little bit for the whole survivor team.
Nice. And what about if, like, what if Springtrap goes in at the same time as a survivor goes in at a different door and they meet?
Yeah, so since they can both use the doors in the security office, we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for that interaction. So if a survivor is moving through that space from one door to the other, and Springtrap, excuse me, chooses one of those two doors, whether the one they're coming from or the one they're going to, he'll interrupt them in the security office for a fun little surprise.
Ooh. Awesome. I
There's a
love all
couple
the little touches that the team has planted in there like that. I think the fans are really going to love.
Orange told me there's 3 animations. We only saw 2 of them. We saw the one in the office, and then there's another one where the survivor just gets goes to the gets to the door, and kind of before they start traveling, they get grabbed. That was another really cool one. There is a third one, though we did not figure out when we were playing how to trigger it, but I'm sure someday we'll figure it out.
Love it. Including this, you mentioned the battery. Managing the battery is part of this as well. So how's that work in DBD?
Yeah, so survivors share a universal battery. It's shared amongst all of them. It drains a little bit, kind of ticks down per second while you're using the cameras. We didn't want players to just be the man in the chair and just sitting there and telling all their friends. So it drains a little bit using the teleporter to move around the map. Takes off a big old chunk in one shot. And then you have to kind of manage that battery as a team. It slowly recharges on its own over time, but you have to kind of manage when and where you're using it. If the battery does run out, the security system, which is kind of the doors, the cameras, the office, goes into shutdown mode for 45 seconds. But Springtrap is not affected by the battery. So if the survivors have kind of overplayed their hand and they shut the security office down, they've kind of given up their one bit of power in this chapter, and Springtrap can still use the doors and bounce around and do whatever he wants.
Dangerous.
I like how it just has the
Fantastic.
credit.
But what about disabling the doors?
Yes.
Yes.
So to go back to the axe, if the killer hits either a camera or a door, the whole thing, with their axe, that door and the camera becomes unavailable to survivors. They can't use it to teleport away, they can't teleport to that door, and they can't see through the camera that's been disabled.
Got it.
When the killer retrieves it, that effect lingers a little bit. It becomes a really cool way of I need to scope this area out, but I don't want to be revealed or seen. You can disable the door, move around, use it to fake the survivors out.
Got it. But it's not permanent. The door can be used again after the axe has been retrieved. Cool.
Unless it's in shutdown, which means the survivors can't use it anyway.
Right. Cool. Okay. So speaking about moving around the map, which it sounds like we have a new exciting way to do that. One of the coolest things about the chapter, in fact, is the map. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is now a new map, a new level within Dead by Daylight for DBD fans, specifically in the Withered Isle realm.
I just want to mention real quick that another cool thing that I like is one of the times when me and Orange were playing the PTB together, we came across, it was an inner, I think he ended up dying in a door due to time run out. Because I think I ended up there because we were trying to make one of those jump scares happen. I think it was a second too late or something like that. And what was really interesting was he died like in the door. So I actually went to the door that he was, getting all messed up by the end of the end. I was like laughing. I don't remember if I was laughing, but I was kind of trying to explain to him like what I was seeing because I've never seen anything like that before. Because you actually see, because like around the door you have like the entity things that aren't like messing up the survivor, because there's like a couple of those entity like tentacle things um that aren't killing you, you know what I mean, that they're just kind of there. And you actually see those like around the security door, which I thought was a really cool and interesting and just little fun and unique little animation thing.
So what can you tell us about the map?
Yeah,
Yeah, what can you?
so the art team and the level design team, much like me, they did a ton of research, and like I don't say this just because we're doing the stream here, but it's becoming one of my favorite maps. I love it so much.
It's so good.
In the same way that we worked hard at kind of integrating a lot of opportunities for jump scares into the killer gameplay, their team really wanted to make sure that they did the same when it comes to things like Easter eggs and scares around the map. So it really pays off if you're kind of an exploratory player a little bit.
Amazing. So are there some areas that you want to shout out that Five Nights at Freddy's fans might recognize?
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot. You'll see a lot of small references and stuff, but obviously we've recreated a lot of kind of the iconic areas from the game. But we're also letting you exit the pizzeria to explore the outside a little bit, which is really cool. And we wanted to kind of add a little bit more space to allow for more dynamic chases and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for the rooms, we've got the lobby, we've got the dining hall, of course, with the full animatronic band on stage. It's very cool. And
so
we have the
good.
arcade, which is
Ball pit.
it's all very kind of creepily decorated,
Oh,
like a
like the
birthday
heads.
party. And we have areas like the kitchen and even the mechanical room, which is cool. And
We can
Oh, yeah,
see a
there you
little
go,
glimpse
yeah.
right there too.
yeah, so altogether, this should kind of feel like a formerly working pizzeria. And, of course, since it's Dead by Daylight, the entity's weird pustules and deformations are everywhere to remind you exactly of where you still are and
You're
where
making
you're
a
stuck.
judgment call on those pustules there, Jay.
Pustules.
But if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I think you're really going to love the map. They've done a lot of really cool work.
Yeah, it's super fun. And it looks really good too. The art team knocked it out of the park. But also with Springtrap wandering around, it's like a terror. And I think for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, like, whoop, you're going to be in familiar territory.
Yeah.
So one other nice thing that we did mention on the PAX broadcast, but I do want to mention it again, we're going to have a separate queue for this map specifically, which means you want to go to the game and you just want to check out the map. Normally, in the past, you'd be in the general rotation of maps and all that. Now you can go straight in just to the pizzeria without having to hope that you get there. So it's going to be its own queue when you join the game.
Yeah, and that's a feature that's going forward with any chapter with a new map. We'll have a unique queue for that new map, which is really cool.
Perfect. Okay. How about some last tips
Yep.
for survivors and for killer players?
Yeah, so for the killer, as Springtrap, get used to the arc of the projectile. As I said, it's super unique compared to other projectile
Yeah, I
killers.
sucked using
We've done
it,
something
but
that really
I suck
allows you to kind of pull off some
everyone,
pretty
so
gnarly
that's fair.
trick shots. We've seen some really interesting ones on our internal playtest. It's been super fun. So test that out, get used to it, and take advantage of the jump scares.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're playing with your friends, hearing them shout in your ear is always a great time. But for survivors, take advantage of the cameras and the doors. It may seem a little unsafe because you can be interrupted or whatever, but they're really valuable tools if you get used to them and you use it to reveal the killer and kind of scoping out the area. You'll get more of an advantage out of them than I think you realize at first.
Heck yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Jay, thank you so much, as
Thank you.
always, for joining us on the couch with your wonderful work and the fun stuff that you've planted in there. Soon enough, people will get to play around with it. I know you're
Yeah.
going to be glued to your Twitch screen so you can watch
yes.
people play it and test it out. Thank you so much for joining us. The show must roll on. So next, we're going to bring out our friend Justin Banks to fill you in on DBD's anniversary event that's right around the corner.
Bye, everybody.
There's no way he knew that was like a song reference. But it's such a good song. The final Twisted Masquerade. It's interesting that's the final one. Like, that they're not gonna do this anymore. That's really sad. Because this started with year 7, I believe. So they've only done it for 3 years now, and it's gone or 3 or 4 years now. I think they may have started it as year 6. I think year 6 or year 7 is when it started. I forget exactly which one, but 6 or 7. And it's just become such a cool event. They've had a lot of fun things with it. It's really sad to see it go. Oh well.
Okay, so oh my god, my throat. I died. But one of the best things for Dead by Daylight that makes me really excited around this time of year is that there's always something to celebrate.
Yeah,
and this year is no different. Because not only are we welcoming in Five Nights at Freddy's to the Fog, but also our anniversary event is right around the corner. So, what better way to party and welcome back the anniversary event and get ourselves nice and warm by the fire than with Justin Banks?
Thank you, Dork. I'm really happy to be back with all you guys out there. It's another masquerade, another year where they dust me off, take me out of the locker, and get ready to talk to you guys about what is happening for this year's masquerade.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to hear how we're going to be partying it up in this year's anniversary event.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff going on, and it's a special one.
I want to hear what's
because,
going on.
as I think you saw by the title just before, after 4 years, this is going to be our final masquerade. We have lots of laughs, lots of fun, and the response to all of the gameplay, the cosmetics, the aesthetics have all been incredible since we got this party started.
Those are cool.
So our final masquerade event is actually going to start in about a month and run from June 25th to July 16th.
Oh, interesting.
While we're sad to see it go, I mean, it was a really, really fun theme that we worked on internally. We've had a gas working on it every single year. But we're going to close out with one last big hurrah before moving on to something completely brand new for our 10th anniversary next year.
I will say
I don't want to hype. I don't want
I will say this. I feel like a 10th anniversary for a game, very few games get to that level. And for a live service game like this, Dead by Daylight is definitely a live service game. You could... I mean, it checks pretty much all the boxes. For a live service game, you know, it's online only, it's constantly getting updates, it's constantly, like, getting new things, it's still getting supported with new characters and whatnot all the time. It's essentially a live service game. It's just not free. It's just not a free live service game, but that's kind of it. I really do think celebrating 10 years is nothing to be small with. GTA 5, for instance, is like, 12 years old, or maybe even more, something crazy like that, and of course, Dead by Daylight is 9 years old, about to be 10 years old, so it makes sense. I remember Orange kind of mentioning this stuff to me about how this is the final one, and we were kind of talking about it, and Orange made the comment of, if you're sad to see it go, then why are you, like, getting rid of it? And I kind of made the response, because obviously I didn't have the context of what was said in the live stream other than what Orange was telling me, but to me, and it still kind of seems this way, to me it sounded like a corporate BS thing, like BS answer, where they say that they're sad to see X thing go, and I'm sure they do mean that to an extent, but at the same time it's like, well, you could have technically kept it still going, and whatnot, but, you know, you're choosing not to, so it still does kind of sound somewhat like a corporate BS answer to me, though I do think they do mean it when they say that. It's just I just wanted to kind of mention that
Fatigue.
in this part.
But come back a year from now, and we're gonna have something really special for you.
I'm really excited to see what we come up with. But also, when in terms of actual gameplay, when we're talking about the return of Twisted Masquerade, is it true that the team decided to work on fine-tuning what we've currently got instead of adding new things to the whole shebang?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few things that we're doing to really focus on the quality of life of the game overall. So you've seen all of you guys out there. I don't even know which camera I'm looking at. That was
Just look
all
at
of
a
you guys
camera.
out there. You've all seen how we're
just
pushing
pick
for
one.
quality of life. We want to make sure that it's the game that it's the game you guys deserve. You've stuck with us for such a long time. We're fixing long-standing bugs. We're adding features to just improve your overall
I
experience.
really do feel like that's true. The thing you just said of we're fixing long-standing bugs, I really do think that's true. Though there's so many players online that are a part of the DVD community that are always like, behavior doesn't care about its players. Behavior doesn't care. Behavior doesn't care. Wah, 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 wah. And it gets really annoying just hearing that over and over because I really do think they do care, especially. I really don't think that's not true. I really do think they care. So it's really frustrating as a player who likes the game, but the game has kind of moved in a direction where I don't play it as much. I still like checking in every now and then. I still love playing with Orange, and if he ever asks and I'm able to, I'm down to play it with him. But I've kind of slowed down on like wanting to play it by myself just until I kind of feel confident with the game again, and competent no longer is every match for me a 4K, is like a 4K basically, or a 3K if the killer gets hatched or the last person gets lucky or whatever. I would definitely play it more if I was having more variety where I wasn't always dying or I wasn't always surviving. Like, I'd like to have more variety, but the problem is because I'm getting nothing but killed immediately by every player, every killer player in the game, I kind of just stop caring, so...
And we want that to translate to how we deal with events as well. So we made the decision to focus a lot of our resources on that quality of life, and less so on adding to new gameplay features for this final Twisted Masquerade event.
That's kind
Okay,
of
so
upsetting.
in terms of that, then, what can players expect to see returning to the fog with this Twisted Masquerade?
So returning, well, I can just summarize by saying all the really cool stuff that we've done before. Again, it's fun to work on this stuff year after year. So what we have coming back are the invitation powers that are super fun that you can collect as survivor or killer, and you'll have different powers to use their charges for as the match goes on. We are bringing back the bag of tricks that we introduced last year, which creates a random effect on the match, that happens based on the progression of completing generators, accumulated with whatever hook stages are at, to really keep things dynamic, keep it moving. Mm-hmm. We're also bringing back Father Campbell's chapel, decorated, for the entire
I like
party,
how they decorate
and
during
it's
this event.
still all the same decorations as
curious
last
how that,
year,
like,
but
works,
we're saying the party's coming to an end over
like
there.
a
developer.
And we'll even have
yeah,
a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's theming showing up in our anniversary lobby.
Okay, I love the fact that the lobby is going to be like a party in more ways than one. Plus all the returning content. I mean, what's not to love there? I cannot wait to get my hands on my invitation just to cause ruckus. So when you're talking about the quality of life, though, are the players going to be able to experience that in the gameplay with Twisted Masquerade this year?
Absolutely. So when we were looking at how quality of life applies to, let's say, the game as a whole, we're saying, well, there are some elements of events that could work better for a better player experience.
Right.
So while by and large everything from the event was really well received, we know people enjoy the invitation powers, the bag of tricks, etc., there was one big friction point from last year that we wanted to fix, which was the remote hook power for the invitations. So we've tweaked that a little bit just to apply some quality of life to this event itself, to make sure that as a killer's using it, it's no longer instant. You can't just look at a hook and bam, the survivor goes there.
Okay.
Now what will happen is the survivor has to look at a hook, they'll hold a button for a period of time, and then the survivor will be teleported. And it will also be obvious that the killer is doing this, so the survivors have time for their counterplay to make them drop their partner. Okay. So we're really hoping that creates some more friendly gameplay, some less abusive elements.
So basically, it's just we want to add more counterplay to the event. That's fair. I feel like a lot of what they do is just adding counterplay. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, other than I suck ass, and it doesn't matter. Every player's experiences are different. Mine is just, unfortunately, an incredibly frustrating one. But, I still love the game a lot. Still can't believe we're doing freaking Springtrap. Are you kidding me?
And just an overall much better party for everyone to play through.
It's going to be great. I'm really excited for that, yeah.
So, in addition to that, last year we pulled back the curtain on our host of the anniversary that, we've shown around in quite a few assets. We showed off last year in, a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
Our darling Trix. So, since this is the last masquerade, her presence is going to be a little less felt, so you won't hear her or see her as often.
Aww.
And then she'll just be, with the masquerade, fading away into the fog, you could say.
Oh, that's really sad that we're going to see her fading away, but I understand. At least we get to enjoy her while we still have her.
Yep.
So, with this being the last hurrah, what does this mean for the Twisted Masquerade rewards and outfits?
So this is probably one of my favorite parts to talk about, because
that was another thing Orange had a lot to say when he was kind of talking about some of this to me. Just how dumb it is that they're getting rid of Trix. Like, they literally introduced Trix last year. Like, she only got to appear in 2 events, apparently she's gone. And it's also upsetting that you won't see her as much in this one. It was really fun in last year's event to look up, because they placed these things in the sky, and if you looked up you could actually see Trix sometimes on them. So I'm really upset that she's leaving. And seeming like they never gave us a skin based off of Trix, or really done anything with Trix other than have her appear in the sky. I was kind of wondering if maybe she could somehow become a character in the game, because she does really because I think in lore Trix just really likes the entity, so she throws the masquerade parties as a fun celebration or whatever. So it's just kind of sad that because the masquerade event is ending, we'll no longer see her again. So I hope we will still see her, but they kind of worded it that is the case. I hope someday in the future they can find a way to kind of bring her back, but we'll see. That's kind of sad, though.
When we see these concepts every year, it's amazing. These are so creative and fun to work on. So we wanted to use our final Twisted Masquerade as a way to catch up on all original characters who did not previously have a mask or outfit.
Okay.
So what you would see here is that we are adding masks for any survivors that are originals.
So Victoria's getting a mask, Sable's getting a mask, Jake is getting a mask, Claudette is getting a mask, Tari's getting a mask, and Aurella is getting a mask. And then Hellmaster's getting a mask too. That's cool. They all
did not previously have a mask. So we've got one for Vittorio, Jake, Tori, Sable, Claudette, and Aurella. And then on the killer side, we only had one that's missing a mask, so we have a mask for Houndmaster. And then what we have to supplement that to keep 6 collectible pieces per roll is 5 killer anniversary weapons that look amazing.
Oh, that Trapper one is so good. I love Trapper. Doctor's weapon looks great too. Oh, Spirit's sword looks so good. The Hunter's axe looks so good too. And Nurse's weapon looks great too.
So for that, we've got one for Trapper, Nurse, Huntress, Doctor, and Spirit.
I cannot wait to get my hands on that Spirit one.
Those are killer.
They all look so damn good.
So good.
And we've not left out
Killer
2 other
Rover.
characters, because those are going to get the fully earnable outfits from the event. So we've got David King and the Wraith. So fully...
The David outfit looks great, not gonna lie. I like how he's cracking his knuckles. That's great. That David skin already looks amazing. Are you kidding me with that rape skin? Are you kidding me? That thing looks so sick. I love it.
Decked out, ready to celebrate the
Nice.
party. So with that, we are catching up on all of our original characters, making sure that everyone is able to dress for the party for our final masquerade, which I think is really cool.
It's super cool.
And one thing that we've started to do over the past few years is introduce what I'm calling guests to the party.
Okay.
So some licensed characters who are getting outfits. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, so stay
Nicolas
tuned for
Cage.
Hollis's section after, as he shows you who is guest starring at the party.
I want to see
Okay.
his guest starring.
And
Can we get-
hopefully they've rolled a nat 20 on style.
Oh, maybe a spoiler there.
Okay, so I know a lot of people are
Nicolas
going to be
Cage
thinking
get
about
an
this,
outfit? I mean,
myself
come on, I
included.
love
I'm very
Nicolas Cage.
curious. So when
Nicolas
it comes to the
Cage.
time-limited Twisted Masquerade collection and the items,
I've
what
read the
happens?
script.
So, as we've done for events and event collections in the past, like this one, we have it only available during the period of the event, and then when the event happens again next year, all of the previous iterations come back in the store. Since this is the last masquerade, what we're doing is going to be a little different. We have to adapt because we don't want these to fade away forever. So we are tentatively planning for these to come back in the store permanently at a certain
Ooh,
point in the
let's
future,
go.
but we can't give specifics exactly when that is going to be.
Okay.
So when this masquerade ends, everything will disappear. And when we know when they are coming back, we are certainly going to be communicating on it. So players can be aware and they know when they can come back and get any masks they missed, or if they joined us later, come in and pick them up then.
That's going to be awesome, especially because like
I
this
know. Just a quick note on that for what's going on here at Orange Disco Incorporated. Orange's plan is to try to get the stuff he missed, because he missed a lot, right? Because he didn't get to play during one anniversary event. I have everything from that event. We're hoping to play this one together a lot. But yeah. But kind of the thing is that like we're hoping, we have a plan in place. I've talked to Orange about this. We're gonna try. He's going to try to get himself kind of all the stuff he's missing and whatnot, and because he knows that I'm kind of doing this whole plan right now, and thankfully I'm doing the end of the plan. I just need a bit more time, with it to fully be done, to pick up the last few things, and then I don't know if I'm gonna make it in time with the end of the plan here for the to make it to the 9th anniversary. And if I don't, Orange has plans to try to help me out, and we were gonna try to get the outfits both of us missed. So, because we're both missing a couple of outfits, because they did the thing with some of the outfits where they were just store only, and we're still missing some of those. So we were gonna try to get those ones that we missed. Alongside some other ones, so
time of year
Yeah.
anniversary is like a huge thing for our community. So this is a huge win, I know. But also, aren't we doing something else to make this a little bit more special?
Absolutely. So I was talking about how we want to make sure all of our originals have masks or outfits to celebrate the party. Well, we want to make sure that all of our players have access to all of these originals too to celebrate with. So what we're doing is we're putting all of our original characters on free trial for the entire duration of the event. So
Ooh.
if there's a
have all of
survivor, a
them, but-
killer that you've not
mine is
ever
already
played
in
before,
Town
you've been
Master.
interested about, pick them up, play them in the normal queue, play them in the event queue, really go nuts. And then if you actually want to keep them, we're going to have some really sick sales going on.
Oh,
so
thank God.
get them at a really nice
I'll
price
try
and
to snag the
keep
jackets
celebrating
I'm
with them.
missing during the
Well, that's
sale.
awesome,
then.
Justin. Thank you so much
will
for
probably
giving us
just
the
be a
full
real,
rundown on the
and
anniversary
comic-
event
or,
and the
not
Twisted
comic book,
Masquerade.
one.
So sad to hear that it's going to be going soon, but
or,
we're going to keep it together.
It's
It's going to go out with a bang.
What's
Yeah,
that,
at least we have that, right? At least we have that. All right, so next up, joining me on the couch is going to be a new face to the stream. So please join me in the chat with a warm welcome for Hollis, who's going to be giving us a full rundown on the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog.
The music's kind of fun. Speaking of music, you know what I just thought of? Orange is very much aware that I really want this character in this game someday. But if we ever do get Norman Bates, his chase music, at least, it has to be the very iconic, very famous song from the movie Psycho, because that movie actually is what he's from. So let me quickly play you a short little teaser of that song, for anyone who is unaware of it. Let me just... Oh, of course I get an ad right when I'm trying to do this. Yeah, this. I mean, that has to be his chase music, right? I mean, come on, but separate thing.
Okay, it is upcoming collections time, and you know I love talking about collections, and here with me to talk about them is a new phase, our senior live specialist, operations specialist, Hollis, to give us the full rundown on everything that's going to be coming to the Dead by Daylight in-game store in the next couple of months. So welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
So Hollis, how about you go ahead and give us a rundown about your role real quick?
Yeah, so my day-to-day consists mostly of scheduling and setting things up for the in-game store. So stuff you see like the collection banners, featured outfits, the bundles, weekly gifts, sales, stuff like that. I've also worked on a few of the collections you guys may have seen in the store. So Autumn Fashion, Chrysalis, Noir, Horrors from the Deep, and the Forgotten Myth collection. And on that note, speaking of content creation, I am sort of moving further in that direction as I'll be the person heading up charms and player cards going forward.
Okay, speaking of player cards, that was actually one thing we missed to talk about in our last segment. I was just sitting down with Justin, where we're going to have badges and banners coming in as other things in the event. I'm super excited. But also, thank you for the Chrysalis collection. Oh my God, I'm a huge Chrysalis fan. But with all of that said, like I said, I just sat down with Justin and they gave us a full rundown about the Twisted Masquerade when it comes to in-game earnables. But what can you tell us about what's going to happen store side?
Yeah, so just mentioned we have some really cool exclusive event rewards. We also have some exclusive store rewards for Twisted Masquerade.
Okay.
This time around, we have some outfits for the Lich, Vecna,
Ooh,
who's wearing his Masquerade Lich outfit,
so good.
as well
I
as
remember,
Baymar, who is
Orange.
wearing his Masquerade musician outfit. And man, I wish I could grow a mustache like that.
I just want to say, Orange did kind of mention that these two were getting skins, and I kind of went on a little mini rant to him about Baymar here getting one, just because Baymar does not feel like his own character to me. Behavior has always kind of acted like Baymar is, and I get that, but he's literally just a skin for Astree basically, because in game and whatnot they act like Astree is the main per one, and Baymar is kind of like a sort of like a skin for him, almost sort of like how the game doesn't consider James right over Cheryl to be the character. No, it's Cheryl and then James is a skin kind of thing. I'm still really happy Baymar's getting a skin. Now that I've seen both his and Vecna's skins, I'm even more excited for both of them. They're both great. I just kind of feel like Baymar getting one is interesting, because again, it kind of feels like he's somewhat treated as his own character, but also treated as just a skin for Astree, and it gets kind of confusing. But
That's
It's magnificent.
Oh, it's beautiful. Plus, as always, all the masks and outfits from previous years will also be returning to the store. You'll even be able to find a few select masks in bundles for Killer and Survivor. And for anyone who may have missed Twisted Masquerade last year, we'll also have a bundle with rewards from that. So the Unknown outfit, the player cards, and the charms. and all that will be available in the
Though
store on June
not
25th,
Bill's
at the start of the
outfit, I would
event.
imagine.
Okay,
Because
so is there going to be any like fantastic sales happening as well?
There might be. So we're going to be doing 30% off almost everything in the store for outfits released before the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter.
Okay.
On top of that, we'll be doing 25 to 50% off almost all the characters. And as Justin mentioned, if you find a character you like during the free trials, it's a great time to pick them up and add them to your roster.
Okay. All right. So, and as obviously, we kind of touched on it. Brace yourself. This is a bit emotional, but after this, the party will be over. It'll be our. I
This is so much.
I know. Let's keep it together.
Six, don't leave me.
Let's keep it together. But
I
we're
wish
gonna
it
be
wasn't
okay
leaving
because
me.
before we close the curtain, we've got other things happening right before, right?
That's correct. On June 17th, we have our highly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's chapter
Nights at
releasing, and along with it, the Five Nights at Freddy's collection.
just wanna
Now,
love
as you
you,
know,
I
Dave
just
and Matt
want
already
to
revealed
love
one of the
you.
outfits at PAX, but we got a few more to show off today that no one's seen quite yet.
Okay.
But in case you did miss PAX, first of all, what are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Second, you would have saw that we revealed our Yellow Rabbit legendary
It's
outfit
so
for our
good
new
to
killer
see it
Springtrap.
again.
This is an incredible outfit from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that features the likeness of Matthew Lillard, who played William Afton on screen before the Spring Launch. Really turns him into Springtrap. Now, this outfit has original voiceover from Matthew Lillard that was recorded just for Dead by Daylight, as well as some special voiceover and animations in the lobby.
Okay, I cannot wait to get my hands on that. But are there going to be other versions of Springtrap coming into the fog as well?
There is. We also have a Glitch Trap, a legendary outfit for Springtrap. Now, Glitch Trap versus...
Yes! 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 I'm so happy. Oh, I am so happy. Yes! I'm crying. I'm so happy. Oh my god.
appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted and its sequel, Help Wanted 2, where he played a very crucial role in the story. So it's amazing to have him as part of this collection. And as an added bonus, for both legendary outfits, when you unlock them, you'll receive a portrait badge of those characters as well.
Ooh.
So a Glitch Trap portrait badge for Glitch Trap, and a Yellow Rabbit portrait with Matthew Lillard's likeness when you buy that as well.
Nice.
We also have two very rare outfits for Springtrap, which are both taken from Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, the mobile AR game, which are Clown Springtrap.
Oh, so good. It's so good.
And Toxic Springtrap. Now, Clown
So good.
Springtrap is pulled pretty much straight from the game, looking just like fans will remember him. But we put our own twist on Toxic Springtrap to really make him our own. But that's not all. For the survivors out there who want to show their love for FNAF, there will be Freddy Fazbear's t-shirts available for all original survivors. You can buy them in...
Oh, I love those. Those are so good. Look at my boy Foxy. Yes.
individually or bundled together at a discount.
That's gonna be great. I mean, I love like the shirts especially because it gives them this nice, cool, casual look, and I think because of that, it's why I love the next collection you're gonna be talking about.
Casual is a great way to describe it because this outfit, this collection is simply called the Casual Collection, and as the name implies, it focuses on streetwear and casual clothing,
Fair enough.
letting us add more variety to characters who've kind of been stuck with one look in the past. So, for example, Jolly Gabriel, who's often portrayed in space-themed outfits, we finally gave him something more casual to show a different side of his character.
That's great.
Looks so good.
He's a handsome man, isn't he?
Handsome
He's so
man.
handsome.
On top of Gabriel, we also have outfits for Tori, taking a break from her cult robes.
That looks so good.
One I know you're very excited about, which is Talita, who is getting some pants and escaping her
that's great
shorts
too.
and skirt purgatory that she was in for a bit there.
Talita mentioned, yes, pants.
Thank you, Eric.
But Eric's excited over the pants.
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 Spam pants emotes.
Yeah.
Pants.
I don't know if those exist. And finally, we have an outfit for Hattie as well. And this
see
collection
that.
will be hitting the store on July 2nd, right at the start of summer.
I cannot wait. Obviously, I'm very excited for pants.
Pants!
Pants.
But with that, I mean, especially because like with the pants, I get to be nice and comfortable while I'm hanging on the hook. I mean, I'm gonna be there anyway, so I might as well be
gonna be there
comfortable,
too.
right?
It'd also be awkward if you were on the hook with no pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be pretty bad,
That'd be
Hollis.
pretty bad.
But we also want the killers to be nice and comfortable as well while they're
Oh, but
slaying
get killed,
and putting
but
people
I
on
got these
hooks.
sweet
Which
pants
reminds me
on.
why we're bringing
I'm
up
chilling.
the Boulay Brothers collection, which will
Ooh.
be joining the Fog on July 8th.
Those skins
Coming
are so
in with
good.
a very rare for the Huntress and a legendary for the Artist.
That's right. And since the artist outfit is a legendary outfit inspired by
I
the
also
Boulay Brothers
I also
themselves,
love how
buying
they're
that
in
one
the
will get you an exclusive
picture.
Boulay Brothers themed portrait badge.
I like that badge a
Yes,
lot. It's
can't.
great.
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited to get my hands on that.
sneak preview.
Sneak preview. Well, I mean, this is the best segue because we're going to be talking about a fan favorite returning.
Yes, that is right. The Waterfront Massacre Collection is
Ooh,
back.
I love that
And everyone
one.
out there who doesn't know what the Waterfront Massacre Collection is basically Day at the Beach gone terribly, horribly wrong for our characters. This
I
time
think
around,
I
we have
have
outfits
only
for
a little
Elodie,
bit of
Orella, Ace,
Oh,
and the Xenomorph.
oh,
So Elodie and Orella are both getting some sun and nice beach wear we thought
those
you
are
would enjoy.
great. Oh, those are
And then
great.
there's Ace, who is doing the same, but in a more classic Ace fashion.
Yeah.
His outfit is something special.
Very special.
He's rocking a leopard print speedo and what seems to be a very short
Damn
robe.
Ace. Yeah.
And don't worry, to all the people out there, I can hear you typing in chat. I can confirm this outfit is mix and match. So you can go ahead and make those speedos a part of whatever outfit you like.
Go
If you
on.
want to put it with the top hat from the Alice in Wonderland collection, you can. We're not going to stop you. That's called fashion.
That's called fashion right
Finally,
there.
we worked closely with 20th Century Games on our take of an aquatic xenomorph. It's
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Yes. Yes. Yes.
inspired by kind of an anglerfish look, and we're really happy with how it turned out. It's very creepy, very cool, and
I love it.
honestly would not want to run with that while swimming.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And you can expect the Waterfront Massacre Collection, as well as Ace's Speedo, to be available in the store on July
Yeah,
16th.
can't forget that speed.
I already know a very distinct group of people that were playing nothing but Ace Visconti during 2v8,
Oh, yeah.
and they're going to be wearing the hell out of that speedo.
Yeah, so these collections, we have Pants Gang and No Pants Gang now.
Yeah,
Oh
pretty
my
much.
gosh, choose your sides.
Pants or no
But thank you
pants.
so much for joining me on the couch to
Which
talk
side
about
will
all the
win?
latest collections that'll be coming into the Fog.
Yeah.
I'm super excited, and it was great to have you, Hollis.
Oh, thank you for having us. This was so much fun.
It was so much fun. So next, I'm going to be on the couch here with Eric for all of our Dead by Daylight creators out there to talk about the Creator Program. So stay tuned.
I can't. I'm crying. Those outfits were so good. Like, I'm actually teary-eyed a little bit.
We're back. How about them pants?
Yeah.
If there was no sound effect, that would be so funny.
Yeah. New stream capabilities, the technology is amazing. Just a quick note, I did see people, they thirsting for whatever the Hattie cosmetic is. We just didn't have an image for it, I'm sorry. So please just stay tuned a little longer. It's great. All right, now we're going to talk about the creator program.
Yeah, I was curious why they didn't show it.
At PAX a few weeks ago, as we've said a couple times, we did a big stream there. We did mention there's a new creator program on the horizon with more details on the next stream, which is this stream. So let's do that. It's today,
They
so
did
we've got more
mention
details
it,
to
like,
share. So
briefly in the last
the
one,
current
yeah.
creator program, as you probably know, is called the Fog Whisperers. They're an
Yes.
amazing group of people that I've gotten to meet a bunch of now. Very thankful for that. They're awesome. They're content creators on all things Dead by Daylight, and it's while many of those relationships are going to continue for sure, it's also time that we're going to open the door to new folks. This is something we've heard a lot of. How can I get into the program? So that's what we're going to start doing. So for starters, we're actually going to retire the name Fog Whisperers.
Okay.
So that crew remains in the stratosphere as the Fog Whisperer Pantheon. And we're rebranding it as the Dead by Daylight Creator Program.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, but don't worry, for anyone wondering, most Fog Whispers are still staying on with us as pillars of our new creator group. So do not worry about that. And on top of the new name, actually, the goal of our creator program is to make partnering with Dead by Daylight even easier and better for the creators involved. We're expanding the benefits attached to working with us, and we'll be welcoming an even wider range of personalities and content focused on the game. So if you're a creator and you've always wanted to work with Dead by Daylight, now is the time to make that happen.
Yes, so some benefits that we're being explicit about that Dork mentioned include opportunities like access to live events,
Ooh.
like PAX we were just at, giveaways for your communities,
Ooh.
new ways to engage with the game, like
Ooh.
getting regular updates on major releases before anyone else gets those
Ooh.
updates, early access opportunities
Ooh.
to stream and capture content, and even be featured in our content, like on streams like today. So we're going to be testing out something other than that, which is really cool because I get to work directly on it, called the Support a Creator program. It's a program within a program, I suppose. But your Support a Creator has become kind of an industry
Inception.
standard thing you might be familiar with. It's a chance for you as the community of a streamer or YouTuber or whatever, to support your favorite creator with your purchases in the game. You don't need to pay any extra, but you put in their creator code and they get a cut of the Oryx cells that you're buying in Dead by Daylight. So we're going to do a little pilot of that, see how it goes. If it goes well, we do hope to roll it out wider and larger. Oh yes, it wouldn't be a creator subject without Twitch shirts.
We gotta talk about Twitch shirts.
Whew, Twitch shirts. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking of Twitch shirts.
Hot sweats.
Hot sweats. Well, that's just me anyway. Okay, so Twitch shirts.
I know they tried to add YouTube once, but I guess YouTube wouldn't let them or something, so those just got like scrapped. But yeah, from my understanding, the only way to get the Twitch shirts is like through whatever they're about to talk about, like, because they weren't really available for like anybody for like years. So I'm really curious to hear like what's going on with those.
Twitch shirts has become a big thing, as you know.
Yeah.
It was never meant to become a big thing, but also wasn't well defined. How do I get them? Why does that person get them? I don't get them. And I think those are totally fair questions.
Yeah. It wasn't
And
super
actually, we
clear,
wanted
but-
to tie it to the launch of this new creator program, so it was very clear. Here's the guidelines to get into the creator program. You get into the creator program, you get a Twitch shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's the new way of getting the Twitch shirts. The old throwing them out randomly method has been retired for now, at least. So if you get into the new creator program, you will be rewarded with a lot of things, but also a Twitch shirt. So I think there's a note on that. So we're going to be granting the upcoming Twitch shirts for our next original Survivor to the creator program folks, and anyone who already has Twitch shirts, you get to hold on to the ones you have, but we won't continue to build your Twitch shirt collection. You got to get into the creator program.
Yes, so if you're interested in adding your voice to our community
Can I
of
get
creators,
Twitch shirts?
our new Dead by Daylight Creator
I doubt
Program website is now live, where you can go ahead and read the code of conduct and find out how you can go ahead and fill the form to apply to get yourself submitted into the program. So
Okay.
the link should already be pinned in chat.
Yep. And our creator team, which is kind of a sister team to our team, it's not us. They're going to be at TwitchCon EU. That's short for Europe. Just from May 31st to June 1st in Rotterdam. So you can go chat with them in person and get more details. Make sure that they become aware of you. What does that mean? What a weird. Thank you. English. I've just learned English. But also a really cool thing we're doing at that TwitchCon is sponsoring the horror games community meetup.
That's how it feels
We attended it last year at TwitchCon North America. It was super dope. I got to go and meet a bunch of you cool creators. But now it's sponsored by Dead by Daylight, which is kind of fitting, so you can go and enjoy that and meet some of the team there. Okay, enough about creators. Let's answer some questions from the community. Let's do a Q&A.
Okay.
Nope, sorry. One more thing we're going to do.
Oh my
We're
god.
going to talk about the stats tracker I mentioned at the top of the show.
Yes.
Can we talk
Right.
about, yeah,
Right?
can we talk about
It's
this
a live
more?
stream, folks. It's a live
I'm
stream.
going insane.
In a couple of weeks, we're going to be debuting a new feature that you guys have been asking for a long time, which is the official Dead by Daylight stats tracker. So, for anyone who knows the game, a lot can happen over the course of a trial.
Yeah.
You can boon a totem, get hooked. You could get a pallet stun, get hooked. There plenty of things happen.
Get killed over and over for me because I'm fucking dog
So players have always wanted to know more information about their matches, and this website is going to be the key to getting you that information.
And what I should have done at the start of this, Emil, get ready. I should have said stats tracker and then air horn. So I'm going to try it. Stats tracker!
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes. We're in the 21st century. Stats are being tracked as far back as September 1st, 2020. That's just a limitation on the data that we have. So we're going back to September 1st, 2020. So you'll be able to see your own personal journey in Dead by Daylight. A random person just walked in the room. And all your milestones over that time. The team has been looking at it, actually approaching it like a fitness app, which I think is a cool approach for killers and survivors, which I think would keep you fit, actually, if you're one of those things.
Well, I mean, survivors run all the time.
Yes, yes.
Well, for me, you die
so it should be a fun
more
way to track your
you
personal
die more
progress.
often.
Yeah. The Stats
probably
Tracker
die
website
more
is going
than
to
you
launch
run,
on
but yeah.
June 17th, and you'll be able to access it either on desktop or mobile.
Which else good at this game?
So it's super simple to use, and all you'll need is a behavior account with at least one platform you play Dead by Daylight linked with it. You can also link multiple platforms with cross progression and combine all your stats from wherever you play the game. There's the general statistics page at the start where you can see your global stats like hours played, specific play time and matches, total matches, and more. You can also switch between the main stats for killer and survivor.
Yes, select one, and you'll be able to see things like who your most played characters are,
I'm kinda
who your
curious who
top
mine
characters
are.
are for each role. You can dive in each character and dig into details like emblems, average blood points earned, and even more than that.
Yeah, so we'll also be showing you super useful details like what your top perks were, both in terms of your pick rate, your kill or escape rate. You can also see which perks really drive the most success for you and the way you play the game.
Up here, but again.
Yep. And a few more things you might be wondering about. The site will be super current. So meaning your match history will update almost immediately after a match is finished in the game.
Nice.
So stats also refresh every 24 hours, meaning where to go. Yeah. If you link a new platform, which some people may be doing, it could take up to 24 hours before you start seeing those platform stats in the tool. And finally, it could change in the future too. This is a first iteration, as with most of the things we put out. First iteration, we build on it. It's going to focus on 1v4 matches and major seasonal events like Blood Moon,
yeah,
Anniversary,
TV
Halloween,
there.
and the Winter event. And as of now, custom matches won't be counted in your stats. But we're going to be
What
looking
about
at
2v8?
adding limited time events like Lights Out, Chaos Shuffle, and even 2v8
Yeah.
in the future down the road.
I can't wait for
Love
with
to
Chaos
do that.
Shuffle for it to tell me how many times I got no mither. I would love that. And like with everything we do here at Dead by Daylight, the
even
stats
to
tracker
them,
is
it's a joke
something
that
where,
that
like
person
Eric said,
fucking
we're going to be building on. So there's
Doesn't
already a ton
suck,
in there that we
but
wanted to make sure that is available
Hard to
for
use.
players. But if there's anything you want to see added, feel free to let us know on socials so that we can let the team know and see about updating it for the future.
So keep an eye out for more info. We're very close to that release. It's actually going to release alongside this chapter, which is scheduled for June 17th.
I
of this year, by
always
the way,
come back.
So only a couple of weeks away. And as I tried to transition to before, why don't we do a Q&A?
So Q&As.
Yeah, let's jump to it. I don't know if do we have a card thing? We got 2 minutes. Okay. We're close to PTB time, so we're going to zoom. Okay. We have 2 live streams in 1 month. Five Nights at Freddy's anniversary. We know you've got. Oh Jesus, sorry. I'm reading what was written for me. Okay, here's the actual question. There have been complaints about cheats and hackers in the game at the moment. Is there something you can say about how you're addressing this?
The war against cheaters and hackers is a long-standing one, and that's
Yeah,
for sure.
that's always
And
been
while
an issue.
it will always be there, there are definitely steps that we are taking to resolve this as much as possible. So during the upcoming months, you can expect to receive clearer game rules, a code of conduct, and regular updates on our war against cheaters, as well as strengthening our anti-cheat protocols. That's not all that we're doing, of course, but there will also
looks
be
like
other
she's
things that we
reading
can't
off
discuss.
something, which is
As
fair.
we get more and closer to that, we'll be giving you more information on. And we don't want to be giving cheaters and hackers, roundabouts for our protocols.
Yeah, we can't give them that peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Cheaters are losers. Yesterday,
Yeah,
the
they
developer
are.
update went live explaining
you,
the Go Next
cheaters.
prevention.
Fuck
How
you,
does this affect
cheaters.
survivor perks that
You,
allow you to get
cheaters.
off the hook?
You,
And how will the
cheaters.
feature prevent survivors leaving the game early, abandoning their teammates?
So Go Next, otherwise known as giving up on the hook early in the match.
Yeah.
Firstly, it ruins the match for everyone
Pretty
involved
much.
on the survivor team and the killers, because sometimes they have things that they've got to do too. So frustration around this has been very high as of late, and with the test happening in the PTB, the chance to get off the hook early in the match will be removed unless you have perks or offerings that affect this. Deliverance and Wicked will stay the same,
Thank
and their
God.
activation conditions have not changed. For example,
God.
playing for the hatch.
Deliverance is so
So
fun.
when 2 survivors are left, and the survivor that is hooked will try to allow themselves to die faster, so that the other person can get the hatch. That is still going to happen in the game as well.
Okay,
Right. With the bulk spending option, so another awesome quality of life feature coming with this release, will we be allowed to choose what items that we can spend our BP on?
So in this iteration, you could actually choose how many levels you'll want to spend your blood points on. So you can't currently choose that very specifically. And it's going to be done automatically, and you will receive a pop-up that shows what was purchased after it's completed, and it's going to be very quick. So we will monitor the feedback on this and see how it performs, and then we'll make some changes moving forward.
Oh, this one's for me. What is Eric's favorite animatronic?
Foxy, that's mine.
So people who follow me might remember I put up a picture that my son drew that I thought was Shrek. And then I posted it, and people were like, "That's Springtrap, idiot!" And then everyone speculated Springtrap was coming to the game, which at the time I had zero knowledge of. But because of that, Springtrap for sure is my favorite animatronic, because I lived through some stuff with that.
Mine's Foxy.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I think for me it would have to be Freddy Fazbear.
Mine's Foxy.
The classic.
Gotta go to the classic.
Mine's Foxy.
Okay, are you going to continue with the
Foxy.
quality of life, in particular the anti-slugging fix?
I sure what orange
We
is,
are
but
definitely
mine's
continuing
Foxy.
with the quality of life features that we advertised earlier this year.
Roxanne a
So
lot
don't worry about
and
that.
security breach, but
With this
Foxy
PTB,
is
we'll be
still my
focusing on the
favorite.
Go
I
Next
love
feature,
Foxy.
bulk
I think it
blood
looks really
point
cool too,
spending,
though.
and
Like, I like the
extreme
concept,
hiding. Then, in the upcoming releases, we'll be focusing on phase 2 of the plan. So more information will be available as we head closer to that phase. But rest assured, this is still a very large focus for us. This is very important, and we want to be very careful with making sure we're addressing issues in the correct way the first time.
Final question, where is Maurice? If you're new to the game, Maurice is our beloved horse. Who happens to have 3 eyes and drips blood.
Yeah.
He's been missing from the game for a few weeks. And I think now is the time to let people know.
Yeah, let me know.
He took a vacation to Japan.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Without me?
Without you,
Yeah.
without me, pretty selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, break everybody.
If you want a glimpse into his adventure in Japan, you got to play that new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ooh.
Shadows.
collab.
That's all I'm going to say. Go find out for yourself. Maurice will return soon. I hope.
Please come back.
So, that's it. You've listened to us yammer long enough. I don't have a time, but I believe we're already past time, so PTB should already be rolling out. Thank you for joining us for our Five Nights at Freddy's official stream, and we hope you're as excited about the chapter as we are.
Yes, and from all of the requests, we know you probably are. So thank you so much for sitting here with us, and now it's time for you to go and play the live PTB and test drive Springtrap for the first time.
We've got tons more of amazing content coming your way this year, and the anniversary is also just around the corner, so stay tuned for good stuff to come. And creators, we hope to hear from you soon.
Yes, so thank you everyone for the welcome back to stream messages on Twitter. This is a live stream,
Yes.
dang it. But we will be rolling out into the fog now, so you stay safe out there. Good luck and hiding and hunting.
And let's get one more air horn right now. Thank you,
Perfect.
everybody. Have fun.
Bye.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
Thank you for watching. For more DVD content of this case, we got Starva, who I recognize. No idea how Cauliflower is. No idea who Ghost Arcade is. No idea who Whole Sam is. And no idea who Polyester is. I only know odds, but, you know, that's just me. Maybe someday I'll figure out who these other people are, but today's not that bad. I guess while it's ending here, I'll just say that I'm blown away by everything they showed off for the most part. The collections they did show off, like the outfits for the what was it? The like comfort one was really cool. The fact that the waterfront one was getting updated is also very exciting. The Ace skin, for instance, I was not expecting that, to be honest with you. That was something. But yeah, no, the whole thing was exciting. I really like the Xenomorph skin, for instance. All the skins coming with Springtrap, for instance, those look amazing. I really like how survivors are getting the FNAF shirts. I really liked pretty much everything. It was all so exciting. I can't wait for all of this stuff, man. It's so good. Springtrap himself looks amazing. I'm excited to see his prestige outfit and whatnot as well. I really liked that. I really liked all the other skins they showed off. They had a lot to say about like the Masquerade event. I'm still really sad that Trix is leaving us and the Masquerade event is ending. Though I am excited to see what the next event will be, and I'm excited to see everything else that'll happen. So, you know, there's a lot of good stuff in there too, for sure. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. I've been talking so much throughout this entire thing that I've kind of run out of things to say, you know what I mean? Just because I've been talking so much. But yeah, that was exciting. I'm really happy I watched it. I can't wait to watch Orange's reaction to this, that I've seen it, you know, that I finally reacted to it myself. That's how it ends? Okay. Sure. What a interesting videos here. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, ring the bell, do all the graphic garbage. It helps out a lot, and it means a lot to us. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.